Hotep Black Power. As always, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors, my sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul, my father, my in-laws, all my subscribers and followers, and everyone that is fighting for the liberation and salvation of our black nation. Well, as you know, or in case you didn't know, the murder rate in Washington, D.C. has not declined at this time. Our brothers and sisters are hitting the ground at an alarming rate and at a rapid pace as we speak, based on the fact whether we want to accept it or not. And let's get down to the core issues. Whether we want to accept it or not, white supremacy, racism, the entire system is the entire complete culprit that created the entire system of black on black crime. Now, let me explain to you all who don't understand the concepts of racism, white supremacy, so you won't think that I'm playing the blame game. Racism and white supremacy is a system, and the 10 main components that run the system of white supremacy: war, religion, politics, education, sex, entertainment, sports, law, religion. The people that run those particular aspects of our society, that is the system of racism, white supremacy. They are the decision makers in every aspect of our being on this planet. Now, white supremacy doesn't even apply to most whites, except a small percentage of few that white supremacy applies to some whites. And those are our poor whites and those that are considered peasants because they have the inability to link their bloodline to the so-called royal family. So I hope I made myself perfectly clear. And now, how can you say that it is the fault of the person that has been taught to hate himself and everything that resembles him, that he has no history, that he's made no accomplishments, no inventions in society whatsoever? And with all that depression and self-hatred, then you put self-destructing tools in their hands, such as drugs and weapons. And then when they use those weapons on themselves and each other, white supremacy steps back and says, look at what these niggas are doing. What is going on? What is wrong with this picture? What can we do to combat this? Because it's never been no war on drugs. Now, you've had drug wars where you've had countries fight each other to see who will poison people of color and kill people of color, but there's never been no motherfucking war on drugs. So that shit that Richard Nixon, the dick-nosed president who created the Vietnam War, which was the powder keg that ignited all other catastrophes and tragedies in the black community, as well as other wars. So I hope you understand clearly of what is going on today. If you don't, test yourself. See how quick you are to fire down, curse out, fight, or kill someone that looks like you, opposed to someone that doesn't look like you. And if you say you don't have no pics, you've always been like that, you telling a goddamn lie. you're telling a goddamn lie. Because if that was the case, you would have you probably would not be on the streets today, because you would have never complied to any time you've been stopped or frisked by any law enforcement official or anything of that nature. You would have never listened to any of your school teachers. You would have disobeyed everyone that didn't look like you. And so the ones who have lied, 9 times out of 10, you still comply with white supremacy. And for those who are claim to be conscious, test yourself. Because most of you who think you're conscious, you're not. Try yourself at 4 o'clock in the morning when no one is outside but you, and you're driving your car, and no one is around at 4 a.m., and you come to a stop sign and stop. If you stop, you are complying with the system of racism, white supremacy, because the white man doesn't even have to be outside for you to comply with his rules. So we need to clear all of that up so you can have a clear and better understanding of when I say the system of racism, white supremacy. Now, back to the subject matter. You know, our brothers and sisters are being murdered at an alarming rate as a result of the system of racism, white supremacy. And it just keeps going and going and going, because the more of us that are exterminated, that's more organ trafficking, that's more baby stealing, that's more of our babies that will be placed in foster homes, which will ultimately lead to them going to prison. That is part of the prison pipeline as well. CFS, Child Family Services, group homes, you know, which increases the dropout rate. Because our babies feel as though no one cares, no one is actually monitoring them. And those who live under foster care, they have to subject themselves and their siblings to all types of abuse, whether mentally, physically, or sexually. And this is by our own people. So that's one of the reasons why we have a small percentage of brothers and sisters who have been fed up with decades and decades of battling white supremacy, while the masses of the people are in full compliance to white supremacy. But they are not in full compliance into loving self, loving one another, loving people who look like them, working together, locking arms with their brothers and sisters in the community. We have a tough time doing that because of the level of self-hatred is so deeply rooted in our DNA that we can't stand to do anything for one another. We cannot stand to help one another. It hurts us to compliment one another. We're the first ones to react to one another. We're the first ones to hurt, injure, do bodily harm, and even murder one another. And it's the same way with these religions. Islam, Christianity. You know, people pray 5 times a day and then get up off the prayer rug and will jump on someone that looks like them quicker than they would their oppressor. Don't forget, the white man is your oppressor. Those are our ancestors, the descendants of our ancestors' oppressors. And I don't know what it's going to take for us to come to grips with that. Because at the end of the day, we're the only ones that's trying to love everybody else but ourselves. And family is the most dangerous set of people that you can encounter with today. Your own siblings, your own family, your own initial bloodline is the most dangerous people that you have to encounter with today. And that's why I personally have never get down with the holidays, because all it does is bring more dissension, more turmoil, more competition among one another. You know, who paid for this? Who brought this? Who brought the most food? Who spent the most money? Who drove everybody home? Who did this? Who did that? You know, when gatherings are supposed to be primarily to get down the core issues so everyone can live in unison and harmony. But it's nothing like that. You know, like Father's Day is coming up. You know, Father's Day is every day. Mother's Day is every day. Christmas, Thanksgiving, these things are supposed to be every day. But by the cracker, by this beast not having fulfillment, joyful and spiritual fulfillment in his life on a daily and consistent basis, because he practices evil on a daily and consistent basis. So every once in a while he exhales from the evil and tries to live like a human and tries to live with some sense and some decency. So they stretch these holidays out far and few in between throughout the year. You know, now next the 4th of July gonna come. More black people are gonna buy all the hot dogs, all the fucking pig feet and watermelon and corn on the cob and fried chicken that they can fucking muster, and all the goddamn firecrackers going in the air celebrating. And our ancestors were just reaching the 200-year mark of being in physical chattel slavery. But the descendants of the slaves celebrate more than the damn masters. That's a goddamn shame. Where the slaves celebrate independence more than the ones that are independent. Now, how in the fuck can you celebrate independence being a slave? We are still indentured servants. We don't want to use the term slavery. We don't want to use that. We don't want to say slave. Because we figure because we're not walking around being whipped with ball and chain on us, physical ball and chain, that we're not slaves. It's just that the shackles been taken off our legs and hands and put on our minds. Because you've been programmed to report to some type of plantation, some type of workforce each and every day, where you don't get enough to survive. Unless you go through about 30 years of education, you know, spend almost $1 million that you don't have, and then you spend your first 20 years getting out of debt. And then you spend the next 20 of that paying bills. So you never get a chance to enjoy none of the fruits of your labor. And so, you mean to tell me that you're not an indentured servant? Most black people, we try to play and give the appearance that we're living so large, that we have it like that we have an abundance and we're wealthy. But take a look around where you live at. These are just illusions. We want it to appear that we are doing so well. But at the same time, you know, you are a rat dressed up, a dressed up rat stuck to a rat trap. But you look good stuck to the rat trap. You smell good stuck to the rat trap. You drive a nice car that's stuck to the rat trap. You have an unpaid for house that's stuck to the rat trap. So these illusions that we put within ourselves, because everything we're doing, we want to give the outer appearance that we're doing so motherfucking good. And then you'll hear people say that they're blessed, they're blessed and highly favored. But you don't favor nobody that looks like you. And I've seen people do it all the time. How you doing today, sis? Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Excuse me for a minute. Sit your motherfucking ass down. You know, I'm back. Motherfuckers. That type of, but, and this is the traps that we're in. This is the confusion and schizophrenic thinking that we're in. You have some people, they are pissed off, but then when they get you off balance, then they're happy. Then they'll ask you, you okay? Because once they throw their misery and their confusion and their idiocy on you, then they'll ask, are you okay? When they know that they deliberately tried to, fuck you around, throw you off course mentally and emotionally. I have a lot of people that hate on me based on the fact, even family, that I'm conscious, that I'm clear. Sometimes the people that you're closest to, some of the people that you sleep with are like that. Deep down inside, they envy and have a deep-seated jealousy towards you because you know more than them, you're sharper than them. And then you have some people that are ashamed to be African. They are ashamed to be African and enjoy being a European. You eat his pig, you eat his slop, you eat his intestines, but you will not dress and put on any type of garb that represents who you really are. You sisters dress white, you got perms in your hair, you dress white, you wear heels, you wear skirts and dresses and all that, but you will never wear nothing to the plantation that reflects who you really are. Because you're afraid. You're afraid. I've seen it. I've seen it done year after year, year after year. I've seen my own mother do it. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to put this on because, this is too much like me. This represents who I am, my ancestors who fought and died. So I want to hide this, save this when I get around the hood. So right now I got to wear the same thing Becky Lou and Heather and them is wearing. So I can rub shoulders with the white folks. And that's the sickness, that's the mental illness of post-traumatic slave syndrome. That's the mental illness part of it. Your language, the way you speak is different when you talk to white people than when you talk to your own people. I see it all the time. People be outside and, hi, Oh, he is so cute. Then you look around and see, damn, is this the same motherfucking person? Then when they get around their own people, what's up? Shit, ain't shit. Give me a motherfucking cigarette, Joe. That's the schizophrenic fear of being yourself. And the ancestors are ashamed of you too. You know, they look down on you with scorn as well. And they're saying, how dare you, after the beatings I took, so you can come on this planet and live? And you are ashamed of me? You are ashamed of me for what I done for you? The reason why I'm an ancestors because I wanted to bring life to you. I gave birth to your great grandmother. You know, but we don't think like that. You know, then a lot, you know, I used to I wore my red, black, and green uniform. I'm talking about suited and booted in the burning hot summers, you know, for the last 10 years or better. You know, I didn't care too much for anything else to put on. You know, because I wore it to work. I wore it mainly when I was in the streets feeding the homeless. You know, and me and my movement, you know, males and females, that was our attire for many a year. You know, but sometimes you can get to a point where sometimes you gotta bring balance to everything. So, you know, and you'll see me from time to time with my uniforms, because we have various uniforms. We have several uniforms. You know, but some of my oldest videos, we've always been suited and booted, especially in the community. You know, because militancy is a part of discipline. That's why. That's what I loved about the original Panthers and the revolutionary Black Panthers, because of the discipline, because of the structure, because the repetition of things and the consistency that they demonstrate. You know, and you know, which a lot of us don't have. We're not consistent with anything. A lot of us are not good at finishing things off. So, I hope that I, made some sense to you all. But at the same time, brothers and sisters, we got a lot of work to do. How many more of us have to be eliminated from the planet before we put brakes on this? Because we can stop this shit yesterday. All we have to do is lock arms with one another. That's all. That's all. And all our demands would be met. We can put an end to homelessness. We can put an end to drug addiction. We could put an end to gun violence on each other overnight. And don't let them talk to you about putting no guns up, throwing your guns away and trading your guns away if they're not doing it. Who is the most dangerous person with the gun today? Your oppressor. Your oppressor. The people that have been given permission to carry weapons are the most dangerous ones. And see, the NRA, like I tell y'all about the different organizations that are ran that consist of the system of racism, white supremacy. Alphabet Boys, the NRA for one, National Rifle Association, ran about, headed by one of the most racist devils ever to hit the planet. Charlton Heston and those other right-wing devils that enforce gun laws that protect white America and disarms black America. Because if we say a convicted felon cannot possess a firearm, and we set the system up where the convicted felons are black, then you disarming the black community. That's how that goes. And remember, whites will sacrifice a few for the cause. They'll sacrifice a few of their own for the cause. They'll give away 3 of theirs if it's going to cause us to lose 300 of ours. So we got to wake up and stop being in this goddamn fantasy world of this illusion that everything is going to be okay when shit is getting worse and worse. Start stacking up on your water, your non-perishable items, weapons, bullets. Because one day you're going to need them. One day you're going to need them. I don't know how you come up with the solution that the people that hate you are going to protect you. The people that are trying to kill you are going to be the ones to save you. That doesn't make any sense at all. But somehow you're trying to make yourself believe this shit. That all whites ain't bad and, you know, and all this shit, you know. Now, that white person, you know, has given up their parents and their grandparents' wealth that they acquired from their grandparents who were slave owners from our ancestors. And they say, well, you know, my great-grandparents who were slave owners, we amassed 2 companies and we got like $100 million. And what we'll do, we'll take $50 million and divide it among 50 families. Give 50 families $1 million as our way of apologizing for our ancestors' part in the slave trade. You'll never hear so don't say no. You know, it's some good white people out here. Now that's a good white person. You know, because most of them that tell y'all and talk like you want them to talk, you think that they are okay. I would rather live with Donald Trump than the average white person that talks all nice to me, because they're more dangerous than Trump. At least I know where Trump is coming from. I know he hates me. I know he dislikes me. So I know how to prepare myself. But for the one who smiles and, you know, we're all one color and they hold hands, because they did it with Dr. King. They tricked him. The so-called white Jews. They held hands with him, and then when they got what they want, they left King holding the bag. When the so-called white Jews got their reparations and their money annually, billions annually, which they still get, with the Holocaust Museum downtown Washington, D.C., they left King holding the bag. King didn't get none of that. We didn't get any of that. Because when we mention reparations, you had more of the slaves bucking against reparations than the oppressors. So, you know, a time is going to come. And that's why I say, you know, we have to get the house niggas out of the way. Shaq, Kanye West, the Kardashians, O.J. Simpson, Steve Harvey, Al Sharpton, Jesse, Michael Jordan. You know, a lot of them, you know, Tavis Smiley, You know, Cornell West, a lot of them got to go. A lot of them have to go. The NAACP, you know, all those organizations have to go. You know, even the Islamic group, Nation of Islam, Minister Farrakhan, he plays the 50. You know, all these mega churches, Creflo Dollar, TD Snakes, all of these motherfucking devils, Benny Hinn, the bitch Joyce Myers, Paula White. You know, all of those goddamn devils, Kenneth Copeland, Fred Lice. You know, they gotta go. We have to get rid of all of them motherfuckers so we can move forward. Big Black Field Ape Shack, Wesley Snipes, Spook Lee, all of them, Hustle Simmons, you know, P. Shitty, Poop Dog, Little Jane, all of them motherfuckers, 55 cents. You know, Tyler Scary. You know, them niggas got to go. You know, Lee Daniels. I mean, we could go on and on and on about the people that throw us under the bus each morning that they get up. Their participation in keeping the oppressed blacks and the majority of blacks under the bus. Hill Hopper, Barack Obama, you know, John Lewis, John Conyers. The list just goes on and on and on. You know, and it's going to have to, you know, something got to give. Anytime Lisa Ray is sucking Al Sharpton's dick, you know the game is fucked up. The brat, she's turned into a man. You know, been on Ricky Smiley's show, booking more women than Ricky Smiley was. You know, this is how fucked up the game is. Lil Wayne and Baby tongue kissing. Baby taking that same slob, putting it down Tony Braxton's throat. The game is fucked up. Think about it, y'all. Think about your own families. How deceitful your brothers and sisters are. How they hate to see you come up. How everybody's fighting, you know, some men, well, they males, fight for position of a spot on their mother's tit. Motherfuckers 30, 40, 50 years old. Fighting for a spot on their mother's tit. Acting like cold-blooded, puss-ass fuck niggas. I see it. I see it. We gotta wake up, brothers and sisters. Our manhood, our rigor of being men has to be placed back in our hearts and minds. That's why these women keep going south, man, because a lot of these so-called black males, man, are acting like cold-blooded puss-ass niggas. Acting like their mothers. Niggas acting like their mothers. Always giving credit to their mothers. Nobody's never attaching themselves to any type of testosterone energy. You know, shit is just disgusting, man. You know, making niggas weak, then these motherfucking niggas killing their women and all this shit. You know, just old puss ass niggas. That's enough out of me, brothers and sisters. Leave something in the comment box. Let me know how you feeling, what you feeling. Am I right or am I wrong? Or am I real? Hotep, Black Power.